Welcome. I'm not even going to attempt to do this because there ain't no way. Welcome to the Holy Shhh Podcast for NXT October 29th. It's your boy Ron T. the Icon.
It's your boy ABE from DET. And once again, I did not get the costume memo.
Yeah, we're not going to do this because I ain't going to be able to see.
Is that Scarecrow you got going on over there, man?
Yeah, something like that. Hold on.
All right, there we go. Woo. Happy Halloween to everybody out there.
At all. Man.
Couple more days of this season. Enjoy the festivities.
And the mask was hot.
Right. Shout out Minx last night doing the show in the Scream mask. Kudos to her, man. Kudos to her. But happy Halloween to all, man. Tis the season.
2 days before. I had that was my last chance. I picked the wrong mask though. That was the wrong mask. But speaking of Halloween, this NXT had a little bit of a Halloween theme too. Looked like everybody was coming out wearing costumes and everything. So
right, man. Shout out Wendy Chu. That was a classic costume she had on right there, man.
Yeah, it was a Frankenstein.
Much respected. No, that was the girl from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what that was.
But from Nightmare, greetings, Tony Hayes.
What
but
up,
the
Tony?
Nightmare Before Christmas, that was wasn't she like the Bride of Frankenstein though?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Ryan looked like Black Java.
All right, so this one kicked off with a super exciting match, man.
1 second though. Sandwich Davis Jr. says Trick is legit future of the business. 100%. We're gonna get into that for sure, brother.
Yeah. But yeah, this first match right here, this one throughout the entire NXT was my breakout performance of the night. Was the very first match. It was Halloween themed casket match between Tatum Paxley and Wendy Chu, and Wendy Chu came out dragging a bed behind her, and then she brought the pillow into the ring, and every single prop, everything that they brought to the ring actually was used. And it was like a big hardcore match where they were doing all kind of stuff. It's like had a garbage can, and Wendy Chu put Tatum Paxley in a trio roll with her head in the garbage can, and then did a basement drop kick to it. And they had one point where they had a dollhouse in the corner, and she threw Tatum Paxley in the dollhouse. At one point, Tatum Paxley was inside like the casket. She grabbed the pillow that she brought to the ring and stuck it on the on the edge so it didn't close. Like this match was amazing. These ladies put on a show, and Tatum Paxley ended up getting the win after knocking Wendy Chu through the bed that she drug out and tossed her in the casket and closed it. So big ups to these women. They took a casket match to a whole new level. I don't think I've ever seen a casket match that turned into a hardcore match before. But Abe, what was your impression of this match?
Before I get into that, special shout out to my guy Wicked on TikTok. I'm not for sure what those emojis mean, but I appreciate it. I know it means something, man. And Sandwich Davis Jr. says Brian versus Jacob, WrestleMania 41 heavyweight champion. We all want it. Hope that happens. But tonight, NXT opening Tatum, Wendy Chu. This match was amazing, man. This match is something that I'm going to hold off to say later, but the women's division in NXT has so many layers. It is to the point where I'm thinking there might need to be an NXT women's show. Like I can go a whole show with NXT women, and I gave Wendy Chu and Tatum months ago when I really first started getting back into NXT. I gave both Wendy Chu and I gave Tatum Paxley a lot of hell, saying I didn't understand their characters. But through the weeks, through the months, they have developed their characters. They've been attached to good storylines. And now after tonight, an incredible match, these two women are solidifying themselves in this division as well. The top is pretty thick, especially with talk about later. The top is thick, but you always need a nice solid mid card. And Wendy Chu and Tatum Paxley are doing just that. The Undertaker will be proud tonight at this casket match.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And I agree with you said about the NXT women's like a show. I think they need to do like they did ever with Evolution. They had that one women's during like the women's evolution, they had that one women's pay-per-view or PLE. They
Yeah,
need to do that again, but with the NXT women's division, they could definitely pull that off.
100%.
Tony Hayes said they should do a women's NXT versus TNA storyline for a few months. Hey, that'll be dope too. They both got enough women to actually put on like a couple shows.
They raiding the TNA's division. They taking all the talent. Jesus.
Yeah, they really are.
Well, we gonna get into that when that comes up. But shout out Sandwich Davis Jr. Tatum could carry a story on the main roster for sure. 100%, man.
Yeah.
Tatum she growing on me, man. I was kind of creeped out with the whole like mystic horror type of stuff she was doing, biting off
Yeah.
heads, but it's all coming together. Sometimes you got to just chill, relax, and let them tell the story.
Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, these women definitely impressed tonight. This is probably one of the best, and this is saying a lot. One of the best casket matches I've seen.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out Wiccan. Appreciate those coins. Now, thank you for the understanding. I understand what they are. I'm old, man. I'm not hip to TikTok, but thank you, Wiccan. If y'all not supporting that brother, go support him. He is what true support is all about here in this content
Absolutely.
creation game, man.
Yep. So this next segment, we had Trick Williams come out to address the crowd, and he calls Bubba Ray Dudley out to thank him for saving him at the end of his match at Halloween Havoc. Trick told him, "Hey man, what do you think about me and you tagging up?" And he said, "Look, I appreciate it. You got me hype, and I want to, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take somebody else's spot." And he said, "I noticed that I came out because nobody back there came out to help you, and I did the right thing because you, with that title, have a target on their back." So I thought this segment with them too was really well done. It was storytelling because they had a story to tell throughout this entire episode of NXT. So later on, we'll see what happens. But just this segment right here, Abe, what was your impression?
Yeah, my impression of this, it was 100% just great. But one thing I want to bring up in the comments because this Tony kind of stole my thunder with this, but I want to give him credit for it. Trick is still green, but give time, he will be great. I thought just that in this segment. Sometimes when
Mhm.
Trick is given the mic to talk a little bit too much, it's just that a little bit too much because he
Yeah.
hasn't mastered his mic skills and his character completely. Sometimes it borderlines between am I a super baby face or am I a kind of annoying heel Miz type? You know what I mean? It borders that sometimes for me. So
Hmm.
the more he talks, the more it just kind of I don't know. But I love the segment. Love seeing old school wrestlers come back with the new, mix it up. Shout out Bubba Ray, man. Still looking good.
And I think Bubba Ray definitely being paired with Trick right here can actually teach him how to, shoot a promo and kind of tiptoe the line, but not go over. Because Bubba Ray's always been really good at that, and he's still really good at the mic.
Yeah.
Especially with his emotions. And I think that's where Trick kind of really struggles with a little bit is showing emotion on his face because it looks cartoony right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That you hit it
l-
on the
a-
nose.
as long as he doesn't say sucker and succotash, he's
Eh,
fine. So
yes. So let's give him credit for just not doing that.
yeah. So then after this, they had a segment in the back where RVD was in the back talking to Ava, and it said that he wants to be involved next week in Philly, and he just haven't figured out his role yet. But then Nikita Lyons interrupts Kalani Jordan, saying that she wanted a rematch. She tells Kalani, "You need to get to the back of the line because you lost." And looks like after that they had a match coming up. Then it was Kalani Jordan and Nikita Lyons to see who was going to be the number one contender to be Fallon Henley's next opponent. Um, I wasn't expecting this, honestly. just for Nikita Lyons and Kilani Jordan to go head to head right away like this early with her return, but I was all for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, something about Nikita Lyons, she just need reps. I
Yeah.
know it's not clicking, but it's just the same thing. I'm not gonna do her like I did Wendy Choo and Tatum months ago. I'm gonna just give it time. I think she need reps. I think she need to figure out a storyline, get her a nice rival, and get going. But she got skill. I follow her on social media, on
Mhm.
everything. She's got real life fighting skill, dancing skill, media skill. She's got a podcast, Jakar Jackson. I'm not for sure if it's a duo, but I see
Yeah.
Jakar on there a lot. But she's great. She can be marketed perfectly, but she, like I said, she just need the reps. She just need to keep going. But Kelani, shout
Yeah.
out Kelani, man. She is
I
becoming something.
and I remember I said last week that Kalani was missing that edge. I swear she said that girl curvy.
That
Tony
girl
Hayes.
is
Yeah,
curvy.
she but
Oh man.
I said last week that Kalani's character was missing that little bit of an edge, and I feel like they got that too. So this episode, Kalani definitely had a little bit more of an edge, and I'm liking it. Right before the next match, though, they had Tony D was in the back, and he got a threatening voicemail from somebody saying that he didn't check in before he was coming to Philly, and he had to find out. So we still don't know who that person is. So I'm guessing we'll find out next week in Philly. But the plot thickens with Tony D.
I think Booker T or one of them did say it was a ECW guy. It was an old ECW guy.
What if it's Sandman or Tommy Dreamer?
No, it was Italian. It was somebody
It was
Italian. I'm not for
Italian,
sure. I don't, but
huh?
I remember them saying the name. It just slipped in my mind right now. If somebody in the chats remember, drop it for us. But yeah, they definitely did say the name. FBI. FBI.
Is that who it was?
That's what they saying
Okay.
in the chat. Shout out Quentin.
All right. Well, that's gonna be interesting to see next week. But this
Nunzio. Nunzio. Shout,
Nunzio.
shout out Quentin on TikTok with the answer. Appreciate that, bro.
All right. So this next match was a Heritage Cup match with Lexis King versus Charlie Dempsey. And the funny thing about it was Charlie Dempsey, of course, came out with his no quarter catch crew, and Charlie Dempsey out there, he's waiting for the match, and then Lexis King comes out with Charlie Dempsey's dad, who is who is William Regal. I was just like, okay, I guess we on this deadbeat dad dad tip right now. So,
Right.
but Charlie Dempsey gets the first win with a bridging tiger suplex. Lexus injures his knee in the second round, but he continues on, and then Charlie he continues to target that left knee and gets the pin after Lexus King refused to take brass knuckles from William Regal. So this one threw me. I was like, he's giving this guy brass knuckles to punch his son with. What are you doing, William Regal? What are you doing?
WWE dads are pieces of I'm not gonna say the word because we live on TikTok, but you know what I mean.
But overall, this match was actually impressive. I think that Lexus King he's doing a pretty good job with his babyface role. I'm actually starting to like it, and he's actually showing how much of a technical wrestler he is too, as well. And I thought this was a really good match for him too with Charlie Dempsey, because Charlie Dempsey is definitely a technical wrestler. I mean, because his dad is William Regal, so they were gonna have the similar fighting style. I was just surprised that Lexus King can do all of this stuff too. But what did you think of this match, Abe?
Before I get into my comments, Quentin on TikTok agreed with you. He said it makes no sense. And Logan James says the four horsewomen is Gilia, Stephanie, Jordan Grace, and Delta, aka Zari. And I don't care about Kalani Jordan. Damn, shots fired at Kalani, but I ain't mad at the four horsewomen at all.
Yeah.
But this match, see, last week when I saw that this was announced, I know William Regal is his dad. I had to go
Mhm.
Google it just to make sure, because even last week I was like, this is stupid. What do they think we're idiots? This is his
Yeah. Why is
father.
he? Why
This
is
is
his
his
father in
father
his corner?
cornering the other guy. And why isn't Dempsey's last name Regal? That makes no sense to me either.
Same
Once I
reason why
figured,
Brian Breaker is Brian Breaker and not Steiner. So
I get it, but William Regal is something different. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That name is
yeah.
something you want to carry, man. I'm not saying the Steiners aren't, But William Regal is that guy. I feel like he don't get enough credit for the things he's done inside the ring, and
Yeah,
especially the things he's doing outside the ring. You know
absolutely.
me, I'm not a fan of this whole Kidditch Cup, Stanley Cup, whatever the hell it's called.
Heritage Cup.
Heritage Cup. Oh, Kidditch Cup is Harry Potter. Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad. But yeah, this cup thing, I'm not a huge fan of it. But today I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to understand the rules, the concept of it, and I respect it. It was decent. I just don't like the cup. Let's turn it into a belt. But yeah, shout out Dempsey, man. I've been loving him for weeks now. His style, it really reminds me of his dad. Just the grappling, the sharp locks. So
Yeah,
I'm feeling Dempsey. I am not on your side with Lexus King. I
not
absolutely
yet.
hate this baby face run. I want him as a heel. I think he was an incredible heel. The mustache, I mean, the beard, that's a heel beard. So
Yeah,
I'm not feeling it. Your dad is a crazy psycho. You need to
yeah,
play on that, and you should be one as well. But maybe I could be wrong. Let
yeah.
me give him time. Maybe it'll grow on me.
I think what would really go well is if he does this stretch of being a baby face and then he snaps.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then but it's given him he said, Tony Hayes says Dempsey looks like a young Roger Daltrey from the
From the
Who.
Who. You're right, he does. And
um,
Wicked on TikTok said Regal once said he was evil personified and had venom in his veins.
well, he
Yes,
definitely did because he's gonna have his son get punched with some brass knuckles.
right.
But the funniest thing was last week they were talking and Lexus King brought up Charlie Dempsey's dad. So I know it's hard trying to step out of your dad's shadow. And I was just like, he mentioned them and then he got him in his corner. But maybe they'll call him Patrick Dempsey, maybe not Patrick, like Charlie Dempsey Regal at some point. Maybe they'll
Or
do
maybe
that.
WWE just thinks we're complete idiots. Either one.
I don't know. They've been known to do that. So
They have been known to do that.
but next up was the match that a lot of people were waiting for. It was the debut of Zarya, and they fed her bubbly Brinley Reese. And for lack of better words, Zarya manhandled Brinley Reese. At one point, she popped her elbow like hyperextended and dislocated her elbow.
Sick.
Popped it back in place for her. Hit her with a spear and ended it with a F5. Um, Impressive, man. She's impressive. And I think that we only saw a little bit of what she can do. She looks like first I was saying like a female Brock Lesnar. She's reminding me of Beth Phoenix right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a Beth Phoenix vibe.
When the Glamazon first was introduced and she had her first match, I remember feeling the same like wow,
Right.
she's gonna be something. But what I
100%.
really want to talk about was after the match.
Yes.
Because after the match, Fatal Influence, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade all came down to properly welcome her to the women's division. And as they were getting ready to jump her, Kalani Jordan came in. They were like, it's only two of y'all. It's five of us. Then Julia and Stephanie Vakira came out and they were like, well, we still like these odds. It's 4 or 5. And then Jordan Grace's music drops. Completely like I did not see this coming at all. I know she just dropped the TNA title in Detroit on Sunday. Also know that her TNA contract is ending in January,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they just got her on loan. I don't know for how long, but I was excited to see Jordan Grace and just the sight of seeing all 5 of these women standing next to each other. And then they clear the ring and it's set up for a 10-woman tag match coming next week. Hey, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Before I get into my thoughts, Wicked on TikTok says Zarya reminds me of Luna Vachon, and I'm old too.
Oh yeah.
That is a hell of a reference. You 1,000% right, Wicked. Man, that is Luna Vachon. You're right. I would say Luna actually more than Beth Phoenix. Now that I'm really
Well,
looking at it.
Luna and Luna Vachon and Beth Phoenix's body, because I don't think Luna Vachon wasn't that big.
Yeah, she was jacked though. She was
Yeah,
jacked.
she was.
Maybe not that big though.
Yeah, so maybe it's like they was like fusion, and then they did then
But
they
the match,
refuse.
the match itself. Let me speak on the match first. The match itself, great match. I love old girl when she broke, when she went to double joint in with the thing and popped it back in
Mhm.
place with her arm. Hell of a spot. Zarya Delta, I wish she would have stayed Delta, but Zarya, man, I love her moves, man, and I love that she uses the F5 or F6 because everybody last week, well, it's the F6, it's not the F5, whatever she want to call it. Brock Lesnar's old move. I'm glad she uses that because it gives her a reference to kind of want to emulate Brock Lesnar, her being a
Mhm.
beast incarnate. Now, afterwards, let's hold on before I say this. Where is this? 21 minutes, 31 seconds. Let's clip this because I'm about to tell you something here. I'm about to make a statement a lot of people may not like and they may not understand it, but in due time, you will. A few weeks ago, I was telling you NXT had the best women's roster in the game currently. And that is true. But as of today, what happened with Jordan Grace clearly is now in NXT. They have the best women's division of all time. Do not argue with me, argue with your mother. Roxanne Perez, Stephanie, Julia, Zaria, Kalani, and who
Cora
else?
Jade.
Cora Jade. You could throw that's 6 right there. I could name a couple more, but if those 6 stay on the current trajectory, those are 6 first ballot Hall of Famers. If they stay on the current trajectory that they are now, nobody messes up the course. And we're not even talking about the other women. We got a hell of a match coming up next week between Lola Vice and Jada Parker. You still
Yeah.
got them. We talked about Wendy Chu, Tatum Paxley. This is the best women's division of all time. I know they
And
haven't
once Nikita Lyons gets rolling again too.
they have
She's
not won the accolades. I'm not saying they've accomplished as much as everyone, but the potential is higher than any women's division ever. So I'm just foreseeing this. But yeah, I loved all of them in the ring. The one negative I did not like, Zarya, her whole buildup gave off heel vibes. I did not
mhm.
like her in the babyface mix. I want her
Yeah.
to be the monster. The I felt bad for the heels because they still look so little and so small. So
Yeah.
Zarya somehow should be flipped. They need some muscle on that side. But yeah, 100%, man. I agree with that, man.
So yeah, that one spot where her and Jordan Grace lifted up Roxanne Perez together and tossed her out the ring was dope too. Um, do you know, like, this is what I want to happen though. I want this 10 women tag to go. I want the babyface to go over, and then I want Zarya to turn around and wreck everybody.
That would be
That's what I
nice.
want to see. I wanted them to win, and they're celebrating, and Zarya smirks, turns around, and take everybody out. That's what I want to happen. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
they
down for that.
definitely need. Tony Hayes said they need to be a women's mid card title for sure soon. Like the mid card title right now at the North American Championship, but they need another one.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like they need two.
They need to at this point, man. It's getting out of control. Just the amount of talent that they have. I said it earlier and I still mean it right now. They can have an entire NXT women's show and I'd still tune into it, man.
Yeah. So Nikita Lyons and Kelani Jordan was next, and Kelani Jordan was already out there because she was just in that last segment. So the match went on, and Nikita Lyons was looking strong, but it was a really good match, and Nikita was getting ready to get the win, but she lost focus because Rizzo came out, and Kelani capitalized and gets the win, but Rizzo comes to the ring and jumps Nikita Lyons. Kalani pulls her back and she's like, she's the one that attacked me last week. She was like, Nikita? She said, yeah. She said, whip her ass then. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that, man. Yeah, I heard that.
So then Rizzo jumps out and they fight all the way towards the back. But looks like we getting the heel Nikita Lyons, which I am perfectly fine with.
Yeah, I'm all for that, man. Heal Nikita. Just give her something. Let her get going. Let her get warmed up, acclimated back into the storylines. Let her get some of that weight off. I like shout out Tony Hayes. You're right. She is curvy, but we need some physical, tip-top shape athletes, and there's a thin line between that with women, and I can't wait till she gets some more reps, get a little bit more active, get more healthy because those knees,
Mhm.
she had both knees operated on. You know, them curves is hurting them knees. You might want to
Yeah.
tone them
I,
back
I
a
also
little.
I also know a lot of times when you come back from injuries, you work on that strength training, but you
Yeah,
don't really work on that cardio. And you could see her get a little bit winded during the match a little bit, and it reminded me of Nia Jax's last run when
yeah.
she used to get winded a lot. So that's what Nikita Lyons has to work on. She has to work on that cardio, get her stamina up, so she doesn't get winded in the middle of the match, and I think she'll be fine.
100%.
All right, this next segment though is Ethan Page came out to the ring to address the NXT crowd, and Rich Holland came out and says, you know, you had your chance with the title. It's my turn now. I'm gonna take the title from Trick Williams, and then he calls out Bubba Ray and said the smartest decision you ever made in your life was to turn down Trick Williams' offer. And then Bubba Ray, of course, comes out. He reads Ethan Page and Ridge Holland their rights, and they attack him. And Trick comes out for the side save, and then Bubba Ray says, "I accept your offer, and I will see both of y'all at NXT next week in Philly for the ECW arena." And we got that tag match. I think it's going to be a really good match, man.
Yeah, I think it is. Shout out Herschel, man. I appreciate the comment earlier on the post on TikTok. Shout out Herschel. But yeah, this is gonna be a hell of a match, man. We knew it was coming a mile away. You cannot have NXT and the NXT and the ECW arena without some ECW talent showing up. Bubba still in shape. We've been seeing what he's been doing on television lately with Bully Ray, so he still can go. So this should be a very entertaining match, and I like how Bubba is giving Ridge Holland this mysterious, how he broke down the rugby thing. I didn't even know that.
Hmm.
Shattered his legs. It kind of gave his character a little bit more depth. So these OGs know what they're doing. They know how to put over the younger talent.
Absolutely, I agree. And I'll say this: uh, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Ava. This needs to be like a tables match or something like that. Or Trick has to bleed, man. We got like for real, for real. This is his opportunity as ECW.
Right.
You gotta bleed. Just get it over with.
I don't see it happening, man. Trick
It's
loves
not.
himself. He loves his skin. He's just one of them pretty
Yeah,
boys. It's never gonna happen, man. He's not that guy. He's
yeah. You
not
got to
that.
do something brutal or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But speaking of bleeding, Rhea Ripley comes to the women's locker
Woo.
room, and just having her standing next to Zaria, Jordan Grace, Kilani, and Stephanie Vakir and Julia, and told them like, hey, I gave them some advice of what to look out for, and told them that basically kind of told her that she was proud of how they were handling their business. And then when she left, she was attacked by her car by Liv Morgan and Raquel that left her leaking, as you would say. She's leaking
Leaking.
over by the car, and they had to get medical. So they made it look real serious. I think that was really well done. Um, you just saw Liv Morgan and Raquel walking away from the car, and as the cameras came over and medical came over and all that stuff. But they did a really good job with that, like production wise. That was pretty well done.
Yeah, man. Just her presence in that locker room just gave them it made them all look legit. But one thing it did do, Rhea Ripley is a giant. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
I
made
didn't
all
realize
of
how
them look
much
like
taller. I
she
didn't
made them
realize how
all
much
look like
taller she was.
NXT
Yeah,
talent. Yeah, she is
yeah,
pretty damn tall. So, yeah. And Jordan Grace, seeing her stand next to Delta, I thought Delta was huge. No, Jordan Grace is a
yeah.
god
Jordan Grace. Yeah, she's a
dang
monster.
monster.
The
Like, serious.
Juggernaut is the proper name for her.
Proper, very proper, man. But I appreciate, like I say, man, NXT, man, they are on fire right now, utilizing all talents, the ones that they have and ones from the main roster, OGs from ECW. Sean is cooking, man.
Yeah. And this last match, the main event, it cooked as well, but this one would have been my breakout performance of the night had it not be for the ending. I was kind of disappointed by the ending. Um, storyline wise, I could see. I just don't know what they're gonna do. But Axiom and Nathan Frazier, they had issues throughout the match with each other. Nathan Frazier has a has a temper, and he let his temper get away from him. But Cedric Alexander and Javon Evans, they were working as a really good team at some point. And when it looked like they were getting ready to get the win, Javon Evans saw Wesley coming down the ramp with a chair and completely forgot he was in the match. Went out
Yeah,
there, attacked him, fought to the back, left Cedric out there at a handicap match, and he held his own for a minute. But of course, Axiom and Nathan Frazier gets the win and they retain the tag titles. I actually thought they was gonna do it. I
I
thought they
thought
were
I
gonna do it
felt
at
it in
this
my
point.
bones until Wesley came out. I said, "Yep, nope. Here comes Ron T's favorite word, shenanigans,
Shenanigans.
playing out and costing them the tag team titles." I would have loved to see them pull that off, man. I would have loved to
Yeah.
see it. That was it
Yep.
felt like that was supposed to happen, but I guess they want to keep Wesley. I mean, the young
Javon
OG in the
Evans.
singles. Him and Wesley, that should be a good match, man. So I'm not mad at that at all.
I think the next match after that is about to be a heel turn for Cedric Alexander at this point.
Matter of fact, Cedric should be in AEW right now with the Hurt Business. Horrible decision re-signing with NXT. I'll say it
He list
till I'm
he
blue in the
listened
face.
he listened to his wife. His wife probably told him, "You better not go to that
You better
company."
not go there. They hate black people over there. Shut up. They just hate you. Jesus
She didn't have
Christ.
no. All right, so I liked her as a wrestler,
I
but
do.
as a
I do.
personality, she has zero. She has
Zero.
zero like as a character or anything. She wasn't entertaining. But she
Yeah.
could go in the ring. She just wasn't entertaining. So she would have just ended up being a jobber for the most part, just because she can do really good work in the ring. She just didn't have any personality.
Yeah.
Logan James says Julia and Stephanie Vakir, Jordan Grace, Delta, aka Zaria, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade all debut in Raw or SmackDown and 2 world titles. And one, wait a minute, 2 world title and title one problem is there's no. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
That's true.
true.
They definitely
They
need a
have
third
no. They
match.
need 2 mid-carders. They need one for each show on SmackDown and Raw, and they might need another one for NXT because the way it's looking.
Tony Hayes
Cedric,
says, "Who is Cedric's wife? She used to wrestle. Her name is Big Swole. That is her real name. I'm not
yeah,
joking.
she was in
Big
the.
Swole.
She was in that tournament that Roxanne Perez was in when they had all those women competing. What was it called? The Mae Young Classic or
Right.
So she was in that. And that was the first time I saw her. And when she went to she went to AEW. I think she might have been in NXT for a short period of time,
Very short.
and then she went to AEW, and she just didn't have it. She didn't have the star power.
And to tell a little more backstory with AEW, she went to AEW. She was not killing it in AEW. Mike's skills were horrible. Ring
Mm,
work was decent, but she was nothing to rave about, so she didn't get a shot. And she pulled the race card and said AEW was racist. They don't like black people, even though they went on to produce one of the greatest black heavyweight champions of all time, Swerve Strickland. Hey,
yeah,
that's just her opinion. I think they're very fair. I hate when
I think
when things aren't
I
right and they pull the race
man,
card. I don't like it.
I think she shot her. Like I said, she shot herself in the foot. That's
Right.
just. It's like one of those other situations where somebody put their foot in their mouth, and now they're kind of blacklisted and they can't work anywhere because nobody wants to work with him. He said Leo Rush got mad at TK for firing her,
And then he found
and
out she was lying, and now he's back and he
yeah,
apologized.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's just it's unfortunate. That's what I would say.
unfortunate
It's
though. Unfortunate.
unfortunate
It is. It is.
because she had potential. She had
Yeah.
potential. She just needed to work with the right people to hone those other skills. But on an overall, man, Sean's still cooking. Ava's still cooking. NXT. They had a lot of surprises. A lot of people popped up. This felt like a big show.
It did.
And this next show in Philly seems like it's gonna be even bigger. It's a PLA quality like match card. I'm really excited for next week.
This show had like a Halloween Havoc hangover vibe to it. It was like
Yeah,
we had so much to give you on Halloween Havoc. Here's the leftover we weren't able to give you, and I
exactly.
enjoyed it just as much as Halloween Havoc. Halloween Havoc could have been 3 hours, and they could have put this show right at the end of it.
Yeah, they could have.
That's how
But
good
on
it
a
was.
scale of 1 to 10, what do you give this show?
Tonight's show was an A plus plus plus. This was a 9.7. It was not too many low spots. I would give it a 10, but those are just very rare. But 9.7, incredible show. Clear and above the best show of all programs this month.
Yeah, I agree. I actually give it a 9.8. I didn't give it a 10 either because they got to do a little bit more. But man, this was pretty close. This was
It
pretty
was
close to a perfect 10. So yeah, 9.8 for me.
9.7. Hell of a show.
Yep. So I think if Zarya was healed, maybe it would have been a 10. I don't know. So
Since we're talking about NXT before we get out of here, I don't know if you saw online, WWE has announced this new thing that they have called WWE ID, where they are going to start hiring indie wrestlers, allow them to travel the circuit, and they will be under WWE contracts while they go to different promotions, all promotions except AEW. You think that's a good thing?
uh yeah. Yeah, I think that Triple H found out by working with people from TNA that we might be building on new stars for ourselves. They got some talent, bring them along. If they do great, bring them on. You That's just another avenue to bring somebody into NXT and make your own star right there. So I think that's a genius move.
This kind of gives me, after watching the Vince McMahon documentary, this gives me territory killer vibes. That's what this gives me. It doesn't. I think this is a rebuttal to Swerve Strickland's huge contract. They're not going to allow an indie wrestler anymore to create their own value. They're going to make sure they're attached to that indie star. So when they come, oh, you think you're worth $1 million? Well, what would you have been if we weren't in your corner? So I think this is more so what they were trying to do, control the indie scene because it is on fire, getting out of control. And they may reach a point to where these wrestlers may be worth millions and they might have to pay them to get them on WWE programs. So this is a genius cock blocking move
yeah.
to stop that momentum of indie stars taking over and making millions.
Yeah, there's quite a few indie stars that are out here that are the next hot things and free agents, and it's going to be a bidding war. And when AEW is like, they're picking up right now, they're like really picking up right now. And you don't, like, Vince McMahon used to do stuff like have people at the end of their contract not have them perform because he's not going to re-sign them because he don't want them to get other level and go somewhere else. It's just like almost kind of that type of deal. It's like, okay, we're gonna lock you down with us and let you travel and still do your indie shows. But when it's time to come along to the big leagues, you got to come to us because you're
You
under
gotta come to us
contract.
because we paid
So
your whole ride.
yeah, smart business move. And
It
as an
is.
indie star, this is definitely something you would probably want to jump on because this is your avenue to try to get into WWE right here.
Yep. Tony naming some names: Myron Reed, Jordan
Or no,
Oliver,
man, it's a lot. Hammerstone.
Hammerstone. Yeah, it's a lot of
Hammerstone is
talent out there.
in TNA too, though.
Yeah,
So
a gang of talent out there. But yeah, shout out WWE. Hell of a chess move.
yeah. All right. Well, we got tomorrow. You got your AEW Dynamite.
Me and Bald Bro from New York. I got a
That's
new
what's up.
co-host. I am no longer alone in AEW. Thank God.
Well, until next time, it's your boy Ron T, the Icon,
It's your boy ABE from DET.
and this is the Holy Shit Podcast.
Peace.